and live in town.
We have a quorum, we do.
Right now,
Yeah.
Good
Good morning, 10 o'clock, we're going to start.
Did you? Yeah.
Supervisor Simpson. Good morning.
I was waiting for you. It's after 10.
All right, let's call our meeting to order. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the last committee meeting made by Supervisor Montesi, seconded by Supervisor Frazier? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, that carries. At this point, I don't know if there's any privilege to the floor. If anyone wants to talk, we'll offer that again at the end of the meeting. And Dr. Duffy is here with us. Would you like to provide an update on how things are going with SUNY Adirondack?
Well, good morning, everyone. I will be brief. Everything's going well. Thank you very much. So the semester is off to a great start. If you come on campus, parking is a little bit of a challenge. We consider that a good sign, though, that students are here and taking classes. But, you know, as we continue our construction projects, we still have parking limitations across campus. So if you are coming to campus, I suggest you plan ahead to be able to find a good parking spot. Just a couple things. We, this fall, will be embarking on updating our strategic plan. And as part of that process, we'll be offering several planning sessions to invite different stakeholders, constituents to just give us some ideas on our future vision. And so we will be having a group that we'd like to arrange with supervisors specifically as our sponsors. So Kathy will work with Amanda or whomever it makes sense to try to find a time that might be reasonable for everyone to be able to participate in some way. And even if you can't come to a session, we're certainly open to feedback. Our goal is to collect all of those ideas from both campus community as well as the external community throughout the fall. And then we'll be synthesizing that all into information that we'll be sharing with our board in terms of kind of our big goals for the next 3 to 5 years, although updating on an annual basis. It's becoming less of a trend to kind of create these big, long 5-year strategic plans when, of course, the world is changing so fast. So we kind of want to set our general directions and then each year update our objectives and the ways in which we operate. So I hope that you'll be able to participate in those sessions. We're also working with SUNY on developing our state budget advocacy this year, our strategy in terms of what we're going to be asking the state to fund in terms of community colleges. So I'll keep you updated as that unfolds and look to garner any type of support you can provide to help advocate to the state to determine our funding. And then finally, I think I reported last time, but as enrollment sort of settling in, or we're settling in for the semester, we're still ahead of where we were last year, particularly in full-time students. And we also have had a significant increase in enrollments for students taking courses in their high schools. And in fact, a study just came out this week from the Community College Research Foundation out of Columbia that truly demonstrates that a student even taking one college course in high school significantly increases their ability to graduate from college and certainly attend college. So we're glad to see that more and more students are taking advantage of those opportunities while they're in high school to get a head start on their college education, and we're seeing that direct result in our enrollment. So those are the 3 things I wanted to update you on, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Supervisor Montesi.
2 questions with regards to the Culinary Institute that's our sponsor. Has the space been leased already, or are you committed to that?
We haven't signed a lease yet. We're still working through some of the terms as we're working also with our architect in terms of looking at the cost estimates and getting our bid documents together. So all of that should be wrapped up, we hope, within the next couple weeks, and then we'll be signing a lease.
The present location on Bay Road, that's a leased operation too?
Correct, yes.
Is there going to be a substantial change in the rate, the lease rate?
It's almost double the square footage, so there will be an increase in rent.
All right, double the square footage.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, sure.
What would be a typical course that a high school student would take at the college?
Generally, most in the general education types of areas, so, you know, English course, history, some science courses, some language courses, some business classes. It depends on the school. The way the process works is that any teacher in the high school that's interested in teaching our course has to qualify the same way that an adjunct instructor would have to qualify on campus. That's actually regulated by our accrediting body. So it does limit it sometimes because they just may not have the same qualifications that we would hire on campus. But so generally in the gen ed area, so that way the credits are very portable. So even if the student chose not to come to SUNY Adirondack, they would be able to take those credits to other institutions.
Supervisor Garrity?
Yeah. How many, what is the, I don't want to say free, nothing's free. What is the tuition program?
Yeah.
How many, did that take effect this year?
Yes.
Approximately how many applications and
Yep,
how many
thank
people
you.
were?
The Excelsior Scholarship,
Excelsior.
yep, did go into place, and we had, last count I got was 116 students that qualified.
Okay.
And that amount in terms of what they were awarded, because it depends on, what other aid they might have already gotten or not, comes to about a total of $175,000 that the state would be paying for students to receive that scholarship. We had about 250 applicants, so about half of them didn't qualify because they already had other grant funding. So just the Excelsior Scholarship is a last dollar scholarship, meaning that we first determine their eligibility for TAP and Pell, the state and federal programs, as well as any other outside scholarships. So even scholarships that we award through the foundation also apply. And then if there's a gap to the amount of tuition, that's what the Excelsior Scholarship covers if you meet the other requirements.
And number two, the governor, continues to tout the tax cap, and it looks like our Republican colleague in the Senate thinks it should be permanent. When they do the SUNY system, is that under the same guise as that, or because that's going to put a little real crimp in how we do things going forward? Because if they make that permanent, I know Tuesday we went and listened to the governor speak about it, but then I guess on Monday or Sunday night, Majority Leader Flanagan, they want to make that permanent. It's a good thing, don't get me wrong, but it really does hamstring you to a 2% increase. And I was just wondering, is the SUNY system under the same guise or not?
So I'm assuming you mean the state-operated campuses,
Yeah,
right? We're all part of SUNY, but our funding obviously is a little bit different. But the state-operated campuses, no, because that doesn't come to the counties. It's state-funded and state-allocated as a real state agency, and that's a little bit different than for us. So
you don't think it, other than putting a burden on us, it wouldn't have an impact?
I don't think so, because of the nature of the 2% tax cap is county-based, right?
Yeah.
And so
Well,
the money that flows to the state-operated campuses really have nothing to do with the counties.
Thank you. That's it for me.
Any other questions for Dr. Duffy? Hearing none, thank you very much. We
you.
appreciate
We'll be
you
in
joining us.
touch.
So moving on to item number 2, these are our items to be discussed by the HR Director or Personnel Officer. Is there, between A, B, and C, Jackie first, is there anything that you would like to address?
No, I just want to mention that the only real increase or difference in my budget is for the upgrading the NovaTime system, which is a timekeeping system that every department uses and manages our clocks and our accruals. So the expense lives under my department, but it's...
Why don't you join us at the table? I'm sorry, Jackie, it's just tough to hear you.
So that was, that's the only major difference in my budget from the current year and we're still negotiating. So I have, I think a 10% discount budgeted right now, but I have a call next week to try to do better than that. But it is a system that every employee uses at the county.
Does anybody have any questions about Jackie's budget? No? Okay, thank you, Jackie. And again, item A was your review of tracking of vacancies filled. B was the HR budget. And Trish, if you would join us and talk briefly about your budget.
The civil services budget this year we're coming in, and although on the summary sheet that is generated through the position budget salary line, it looks like we're asking for almost $27,000 more, and in fact we're asking for $3,000 less in our personal services line. We had this conversation at the budget workshop with the budget officer and the budget team. And so what happened is there was, during the year, an annualized calculation for one of
that we weren't able to make as part of the submission process, the budget officer makes it as part of his process. So what you'll see is the Civil Service Department, the Department of Civil Service Administration will be seeking $172,124, and that's actually $3,000 less in personal services. In our contractual services, we've moved a few expenses around just to better estimate where we might be spending them, and we're a couple hundred down on that. But our year, we anticipate that the funding that we have, we appreciate, and we're going to work with what we have to.
Any questions for Trish? No? Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, that's for information only. We do not need a resolution to move forward with those. Number 3, under the referrals from the Criminal Justice and Public Safety Committee under the Sheriff, there was a request to amend the table of organization and salary schedule to delete the positions of computer programmer and computer support technician at the Sheriff's Office effective October 23rd.
I'll move that.
That motion is made by Supervisor Garrity.
They're going over to IT.
That motion seconded by Supervisor Montesi. And what, Supervisor Montesi?
They're just moving over from Sheriff's Office to the IT
Okay.
department.
So moving from the Sheriff's Office to the IT Department. Is there any further discussion on this? No, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. Item number 4 from Health, Human, and Social Services, Countryside Adult Home. A is to request the table of organization and salary schedule to delete the position of institutional aide number 4, part-time 32 hours, and create and fill the new position of institutional aide number 16, full-time grade 3, at an annual salary of $26,585 effective 10/23. I have a motion by Supervisor Frazier, seconded by Supervisor Montesi. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. That motion carries. Item B, request to amend the table of organization and salary schedule to delete the position of institutional aide number 4, part-time 24 hours, create and fill the new position of institutional aide number 17, full-time grade 3, at an annual salary of $26,585, again effective on 10/23. Can I have a motion to get that on the floor? Made by Supervisor Frazier, seconded by Supervisor Bramer. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Thank you. Item C, request to amend the table of organization and salary schedule to delete the position of institutional aide number 7, part-time 24 hours, to offset the increase in hours resulting from the deletion of 2 part-time institutional aide positions to make them full-time. That motion is made by Supervisor Bramer, seconded by Supervisor Frazier. Is there discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. Thank you. Moving on to item number D is a referral from the Department of Social Services. It's a request to amend the table of organization and salary schedule to create and fill the new position of senior caseworker number 8, grade 18, annual salary at $44,101, effective 10/23.
I'll
That
move
motion
that.
is made by Supervisor Montesi, seconded by Supervisor Frazier. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Thank you. Our last referral is from Veteran Services. Item number E is a request to amend the table of organization and salary schedule to create the new position of a van driver per diem, grade 2, annual salary $12.51 per hour, effective 10/23. That motion is made by Supervisor Bramer and seconded by Supervisor Frazier. Is there any discussion?
So the 29 is just an error.
Yes.
So the 29...
I didn't know if the salary was...
No,
20...
that's what's given to us by the payroll. It
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
go for
It goes
Oh, we
up
do go
four.
out that far?
4 digits.
Wow,
Really?
that's amazing.
I think I still rounded it correctly, though.
You
1251.
did, you
Okay. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. There are no pending items this month for personnel or higher education. However, at this point, I'd like to ask anyone in the public if they wish to be heard or not on the committee. Okay, great. Hearing none.
I would like to request the executive session to discuss the performance of a particular individual.
Okay, there's a request for an executive session. Seconded, that motion is made by Supervisor Garrity, seconded by Supervisor Simpson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, would you please show your hands? Opposed? Thank you. That carries. We will enter into executive session.
Yeah.
Yeah, no action was taken during executive session. However, at this point in time, is my understanding, we have a resolution in front of the committee. That resolution?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we hire a independent contractor to work in the county attorney's office up for a period of time not to exceed 2 months.
Okay, that's fair.
That motion is seconded by Supervisor Montesi. Is there discussion? No, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Is there any other business to come before the Personnel Committee this morning, or members of the public that would like to be heard? Hearing none, could I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
Supervisor Frazier, seconded by Supervisor Montesi. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. That carries. Move on to finance.